This weekend I played Magic the Gathering, and I saved about $60 by proxying my deck, and I just wanted to talk about how that was and that experience. Hi, I'm McAllister with Toasty DIY, and today I just wanted to chat about proxying cards and Magic the Gathering and just an experience from my side of the field. Having done it for the first time this weekend and played with some friends, had a fun time, and just wanted to chat about how my friends felt about it and how did it run? Was the deck overpowered? Did people complain? So in the background here, you'll be seeing me put together an otter themed deck. It was something that I thought about, thought might be fun, and wanted to toy around with this concept to see how it would go. I tried it out, and you'll see by the end the deck list isn't very impressive. It's just something that I threw together, and I didn't care about how much the cards cost for the most part. All I cared was that the final total of the deck wasn't something that I couldn't reasonably afford if I really liked it, because I would probably buy it at that point just because I like having the actual cards. But I just wanted to throw it together, and I worried about using proxies with my friends because I don't want it to make the experience less fun, because we're all there together at the card store, we're at the game shop. I do want to support them. I do also want to save money. So this was kind of a balance to try something out, and I really did it because I had extra time this last day of work and thought, well, what can I make a video about? And I had been thinking about proxying cards, and we have a printer here, so it made it even cheaper and easier for me to figure it out. So with that being said, I printed out this otter deck. The idea behind it being kind of a otters seem to have this theme of prowess, so when you lose a lot of instants and non-creature spells, so I built the deck around the idea that it's kind of a card draw with blue and then removal with red, and hopefully that between doing those two things, I would power up my otters enough to hit people really big. In practice, I've come to learn that clearly the otters are meant more for like this idea of you might use an instant to raise their, give them a 1/1 counter and save them from death if they get blocked, or you might use an instant to do it during their turns instead of just yours. You can really do it during any time, so you want to have a good collection of things. I realized the mana curve on this deck for like casting my removal spells seemed to be a little too high, and I wasn't getting enough card draw in. I played about 6 or 7 rounds with it, so I want to say that I have a pretty good idea of like where it went badly, and I think I need to switch out the removal for more staples. I just wanted to try new ones. Like I liked Wizard's Lightning because all the otters are wizards for some reason, it turns out. And I thought it'd be fun to have that wizard. If you have a wizard, it costs less to cast. Just sort of different fun things to mess around with. I really like the Lightning Axe card that was in there. And I got to learn that I like these things without spending any money or time waiting for them to get here. And all I did was take a set of a green deck I was working on that I didn't really care for, and I just pulled them all out, and then I re-sleeved them again, but instead with the printed paper copy on top. I didn't even bother personally going through and gluing them or anything like that, because I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. And honestly, with the black background of the dragon shield and the black border around the proxy cards, it just used a website that took a deck list and formatted it onto a printer sheet paper, and it was the perfect size. There was almost no bleed through. It was really, really good. Made it where I could read all the text and everything. It was actually surprisingly more efficient than I thought it would be, and it will be probably my go-to for testing any decks before I buy them anymore. I don't know if I'm getting any value from buying packs and cracking them and making things. I'm really not good at that. I like having play sets in my deck. I don't like having like random themes that I have to figure out. I like being able to kind of no-brain my deck because I know these 8 creatures are in here, and I may play them in any combination with these 8 spells, and just different amounts of those spells to vary when I get them or don't get them. And I just really enjoyed it. I'll say I asked my opponents after I played them, did you mind playing against a proxy deck? And out of all my friends, nobody really was bothered by it. Now, that being said, I proxied a very cheap deck, a deck that I threw together. I didn't proxy something that someone had created a CEDH deck with Mox Opals. I'm sure if I proxied a Mox Opal, there'd be some laughs. There'll be some moments where it's like, ha ha ha, you wanted to do that. And personally, I find in our friend group, it has been a game of, hey, getting the cards is what's gear gating us. If you're talking about like people who maybe like you can't pay to win, you can't just get the most optimal version of every card and have only that to just keep winning and winning and winning in our group. It keeps things balanced because we're constantly trading around for extra cards. It's been a lot of fun, but I do think there's times where I want to build a deck or a theme from scratch and I don't have any of them, that I could be way better off just proxying it, trying it out, having the fun, especially in Commander where there's big cards. I think in our group, I don't ever want to buy a Heuristic Studies card besides just like maybe one copy one day for a mono blue deck I want to build. But I just find that $42 for that card, I can't get myself to just do that on a whim. I have to be getting like 100 other cards, and maybe it'll cost $100, and 42 of that is the Ristic Studies. But at least at that point, I feel like I'm getting the value because I'm finishing with a whole deck. But I'm not going to just buy every value staple blue I need. But when they're $32, $42, and I'm trying to stay on a budget, I really don't see a reason why I don't just print out a piece of paper, slap it on top of a card I had in there, and save my money. So let me know your opinions of proxying down below. I didn't do any fancy art. This website just used the staple art from the thing. I don't necessarily feel bad. I'm not going to sell, reuse, or anything. I just want to play some otters. Got some fun out of it. I'll probably rip that deck apart and try out some new different pieces to throw in there. I don't know if I'm in love with it, but if I had played it and I was in love with it, it would have been nice to know that I could just turn around now and for like $60, since I didn't put anything too expensive in there, I think beyond this like amulet that makes red spells cost less, it was pretty cheap. So thank you all for watching. Like I said, comments down below, and I appreciate you. Take care.